Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm very happy to see you. I hope you enjoy my particular brand of content and you join the family by hitting that subscribe button. But in the meantime, you can even start liking or like now, because you can just anticipate that you're going to enjoy these few minutes that we're going to spend with each other. Now, those of you who are returning to the channel, I'm very happy to see you again. It means that you've enjoyed taking this journey with me and seeing what I have to pontificate on next. So, bonjour, namaste, akabo, assalamu alaikum, guten tag. Wherever you are in the world, I hope things are at peace with you and yours. And after this, or after watching my series of videos or vlogs, I hope the world seems a little less scary and you're a little less anxious about things. So those of you returning and those of you with a more observant bent to you would say, something is a bit off with this guy's look. Something is different. Not quite sure what it is. And I know what you're thinking. He's rocking leathers indoors. That's what it is. That's what's different. And it's just that, with COVID times and not being able to go places, not being able to really enjoy those clothes that, give us a little bit of, some clothes you put on and you just think, yeah, feeling good. So, yeah, that's what that's about. That's anything that's different. Oh, you mean the face wise? Yeah, so what happens is the light really shines on the teeth. So I haven't done anything with my teeth yet. So that's why they might appear brighter than usual. That's not to say I don't plan to, because I don't know if this is an age thing or just a me thing, but my teeth are more sensitive, but more so because the edges are slightly open. So every now and again, not all the time, so maybe like a few times a year, they get to the point where anything that is sweet or salty or cold or hot, the whole shebang just gets in there. But if you've ever looked into getting, say, like veneers done, they're like a kind of cap for your teeth. There's caps and then veneers just look nicer, but they're expensive, man. They quote you per tooth. So you might have to decide which two teeth in your head you're going to treat. But I think probably in the next few years I will look into going somewhere and getting them all done, just because I did check a dentist and essentially he said I pretty much brushed my enamel off, so they're not that strong. So I used to use hard bristles. I didn't particularly used to brush with any kind of pressure, but it just so happens that my enamels can't handle it. So every now and again I have to use those soft brushes that just looks like it's not doing anything or feels like it's not doing anything. But I'm sure whenever I decide to go and get some of that cosmetic work done, you can see making a bit jagged. A lot of people are gonna say midlife crisis, because I am at that sort of age. I'm 46 this year, and some people might think, midlife crisis starts when you're in your 50s, but really that's only if you're gonna live to 100 under normal circumstances. But I'd say anytime from your 45s onwards, really. And I'm not gonna be able to afford no Ferrari or anything like that. I think the idea is that by the time you're this age, you can indulge in all the things that you wanted to indulge in as a youngster. And that's why you get grown men with these ridiculous sports cars and whatever else, ridiculous boys' toys. And as we know from American TV dramas, you make a lot of bad decisions. But in my case, it's a bit different, because there's a lot of things set to happen over the next 6 years in my household. So I've got two boys who are going to be hitting puberty within that time. You've got me, I'm going to hit my 50s, and my missus, who clearly I'm making no hints about how old she might be, but I'll say some women of a certain age start to worry or start to go through or both, worry and go through not quite menopause, but what they call perimenopausal or perimenopause, I guess. So a lot of you might not have heard that term before, but there's lots of information out there, so I wouldn't go into too much detail, but it's another one of these things that I'd say both women and their partners worry about. Not me, of course, modern man and all of this sort of stuff, But I only said all that to say that because we have all those things coming up, and my oldest boy is going to be a teenager as well, all of those things that happen and everything that goes with it. So we have to kind of schedule our individual issues. So, being the guy, I've decided, okay, I'll probably have my midlife crisis a little early just to accommodate, because we can't really shift the time of the puberty and the teenagerhood and with my missus, so give her enough time, so but this hasn't started, don't worry. This is just me playing about, late in the evening. You see parts of the Caribbean start twiddling and it's funny because if I rocked into an office looking like this, say in the Caribbean, I'd probably get told, what's up with that? Clearly a cry for help. You wanna watch yourself. But over here in the UK, where we're going through like a real PC adjustment, it's kind of like, dare anyone to tell me anything, like because the assumption is that this is kind of a black thing and they better not say anything, and maybe it is, who knows. But anyway, don't read too much into it. I guess one of the things that I try to do with this channel is to address some things that are what I have termed micro-Anxieties. I'd like to think that no one has used that yet, but I haven't searched to make sure. It's just the smaller things that are not quite big enough for resources to be poured into it, but when you take them all together, could cause people to feel down or majorly anxious or even depressed. And I guess one of them is, when you still feel like the person you were when you were, I don't know what you'd call in the prime of your, I wouldn't say prime of your life, because I think that speaks to when you have achieved a certain amount and you're in a position where you can achieve or you can conceive. So I think that's probably when you're at the height of your career. But I guess when you're coming from late teenager into early 20s, you're most vibrant, you're most self-realizing, I will say. It's probably a nice way to put it. But I think you still feel that way, like say when you're 20. But obviously you're walking up them stairs and your body's telling you otherwise. You look in the mirror, your body's telling you otherwise. And some people could start to feel like, that's it, I'm over the hill. I think that's the main feeling I'm getting, that feeling like that's it, it's over. I've reached the top on my way down. But I think it's something you should realize, that there's always a next step. Unless maybe like you're Barack Obama or something like that, he might have some anxiety issues, but that's all right. But for the rest of us, whether you have kids and you're walking them through their life, or you're walking with them as they achieve in their life and go from strength to strength, or you just your career or what you're doing with your life, or just your life experiences, places you haven't gone, places you haven't seen, they're things you have yet to discover. So try not to worry too much about it. But as always with these things, I'm going to say, if you do find it's playing on your mind, don't just dismiss it as a small thing, which is, I say micro-anxieties, but they grow into bigger anxieties. So do speak to someone, say, I'm just feeling like that's it, I'm done, one foot in the grave. But no, there's a whole world out there with a whole lot of possibilities. So don't close yourself off to it, don't sell yourself short. this kind of ties into something that I once mentioned about when does the next generation start, or when is the next generation recognized. And where I'm at is, I think that there's no like one generation. Let me explain. I think it's more that, so for young people creating, there's that generation of producers that are in the prime of their creativity. But then there's another generation of achievers who are now, they've done the sort of groundwork to get them to where they are. So, you know, as in there's a generation of 20 somethings, there's a generation of 30 somethings, 40 somethings, all the way. And even 70 somethings, because, you know, this generation of 70 somethings are doing a whole lot of stuff that their predecessors just wouldn't have imagined, you know. Even with all the things that are going on in the world, overall, we're living in good times where you don't have that point where that's it. You switch off and you go and sit in a rocking chair. You know, there's things that can be achieved right through your life, and it's good to remember that and try not to worry too much. Okay, I'm gonna remove that again. I'll just continue talking. So it's important to remember that there are things that could be achieved right through your life, whatever age you are, whatever has gone before. You know, there's a lot of life left to live, and obviously there's some people in just horrible situations that can't see that way forward. But I hope there is something that is keeping you going and is keeping you moving forward, and you can see a light at the end of the tunnel, and the rest of us will just remember you. But for those of you who are just feeling a bit anxious about the future, try not to worry about it. Just sit back, relax, twiddle your hair if you have some, and just take it easy and keep smiling. So I'm going to keep this one short, mainly because I'm really getting hot in this thing. But also, it's probably just an addition that I'm going to put out, you know, in between my regular outputs and contents, because really it's nothing to do with any notes that I made, but sometimes that's how the process works. So please do like, subscribe, share, hit the bell, be reminded. I will get to a point where I have some snazzy subscribe texts coming up, but for now, take care and keep smiling. Till next time.